We have a really interesting case out of, I think it's Missouri. Man, woman arrested after child beaten out of jealousy for sexual coercion. And it's a little flip-floppery what happened here, and it took me a hot minute to really get it, but let's go into it. It's a hot mess all around. This is Pattonsburg, Missouri. Okay. A man and a woman are behind bars after a child was beaten out of jealousy following months of sexual coercion. I would frame this a lot worse than that. I mean, it's child rape, but there's a lot more in this. But also, watch this. Davie County, Missouri Circuit Court records filed on Friday, April 25th, indicate that Brandy Hobson, okay, so get the name Hobson, it's her, female, 26 years old, 26, and Joshua Baker, 42. Now, I don't know how long these two have been together. It may give us more insight into this, what she finds as normal, and him too. But yeah, I had to read. I was like, that's a pretty big age gap here. What's going on? So, and then the younger one preys on somebody younger. Is that what happens? Watch. A probable cause statement filed by the county sheriff's office revealed that on January 10th, Hobson, the female, allegedly picked up a child from a home in Chillicothe, I don't know, for a weekend visit with her neighbor, Baker. A weekend visit with her neighbor, Baker. Okay, so this Joshua dude is her neighbor, Baker? I mean, yeah, it was the way this is written. I was like, wait a minute. Investigators noted that during the weekend visits, Hobson is believed to have groomed the child and enticed them into sexual favors. I'm going to assume it's a male victim. The weekend visits continued until about March 9th, when Baker, the dude, reportedly attacked the child out of jealousy. I'm assuming it's a dude. This would be typical conduct of men. And of course, the guy is not like, wow, this is a minor. We should probably get Hobson, Brandy here arrested. Oh no, we're going to attack the child. So we do see the same conduct, with women targeting victims. Usually it's like, a lot like that, where they, if her man is like with another little girl, then they go after the little girl and not the man. Well, this is men. Okay, so did you report it, dudes? No, you did not. And you had no problem with it because Baker here probably goes at minors too. This would be kind of why he would do that, right? So you'll see how they tell you who they are, just even by how they act. So if he is not outraged that this adult woman is on this minor, regardless of gender, he's going to be totally fine with it. And he probably has been. And that's why this conduct. Okay, so law enforcement officials said Baker, the dude, the 42-year-old guy that beats children up, allegedly learned about the relationship between Hobson and the child during the first weekend visit. And he did not report it, right? Okay, he confronted the child. Oh, you confront the child? But never reported the crime. Allegedly, he told Hobson that he would not report the crime if she carried out the relationship with him. The two eventually moved in together. He doesn't care. He's totally down with sex crimes on kids. And he's going after a very much younger woman. Now, I don't, there's just things in this that obviously for a woman to be going on a minor like that, somebody probably did that to her and it's just totally normal here in Missouri. And this dude is totally fine with going at minors. And it's just sort of a manipulation that he did right there, right? So he's like, well, I won't, it's not a big deal, you know what I mean? You come with me, girl. So it's almost like a blackmail. Do you not see? It's almost, this right here, is almost like he's blackmailing her. which nobody's going to point out in this case. They're all a cluster F, okay? But he goes, I'm not going to tell on you if you keep this up. Wink, wink. Come with me. Like a mafia thing, right? And then she moves in or something like that. I don't know. So then the sheriff's office said that after Baker learned of the sexual contact, he continued to have the child stay with him in the care of Hobson. Until March 9th, when he allegedly swept the child's leg out from under them. They're trying to be really, trying to keep out the gender of the child, but I'm almost certain it is a male. Threw them to the ground and headbutted them. Okay. As a result, Hobson has been charged with 4 counts of molestation of a child under the age of 14. Under the age of 14. Under the age of 14. 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child and a single count of enticement of a child. Whose child is this? Wait, okay, so Baker has been charged with child endangerment, child abuse, and domestic assault. Is this his own child? What is going on here? I'm just trying to figure this out. It's like, where'd this random minor come from? Okay, if convicted, Hobson could face around 54 years in prison and a $60,000 fine. Baker could face up to 18 years and $30,000 fine. Both of them, I don't even know. I have rapists worse than this, and they got 0 time. For some reason, the woman in this gets way more time, and the dude kind of facilitated this, and then did a weird criminal act to make a threat, like, I won't tell on you, and then they all did the crime together in the house, and then he's the one that physically harmed the child after the fact and didn't protect the kid. So in a way, like, he's almost like the worst human in it as well, because if you see a monster on a kid, then you should have reported it. And then on top of that, like, he did some weird thing to not report it to get them together. And then he goes and harms the kid. So what the hell? And we don't know whose kid it is. Is it his? Like I said, I was reading it, and I'm like, the way it's written is kind of weird, because they're trying to be like, we're not going to tell you who the victim is. And I think it's a son. I don't know. It's something. We go back. Hobson allegedly picked a child up from a home in this one city for a weekend visit with her neighbor Baker. So I don't know I don't know what, maybe it's I have no idea. She picked up some kid from somewhere. And somebody maybe they're not related, or I have no idea. But somehow this kid ends up here, and then they said after Baker learned of the contact, he continued to have the child stay with him and in the care of Hobson. So do they end up taking care of the kid at some point? Or are they saying that the kid keeps coming out? Like, this is crazy. Is it a family member? Is it not? I have no idea. But the whole thing is a hot mess. Everybody in here. But please look at this little blackmail-y little thing on this. I won't report the crime if you be with me, lady. And so then they move in together. That's a crime on its own. I'm going to dangle this over you. I'm going to get you arrested. But I will not tell on you if you do something I want you to do. Like, what the hell is that? There's no good human. Okay, did you see the picture of them? Did we go through this? Look. Holy, you know what with this? This guy looks like a straight up prisoner. And she just looks like a bumpkin in the middle of Indiana whose parents beat the living you-know-what out of her, and she's like extra special and doesn't comprehend a lot of things. And so he basically takes advantage of that, and then she's a hot mess on her own with her other thing. And then he's obviously fine with child rape. Like, it's just the most insane thing ever. Like, this couple is like, this is Missouri, you guys. Missouri. What? 17-year-olds consent to sex with anyone 14 years or older. Okay, so this is why this shit a hot mess. This is why this thing a hot mess, okay? The AOC is all kinds of effed up across the globe, okay? They haven't updated, I don't even know when the last time they updated these things, but at no time should I, even when I was 17, be with a 14-year-old, okay? That thing wouldn't even happen. That's gross. Like, I don't even think any of my friends were going on like this. Like, I can't even pull out any of my friends going, you know what, let's hook up with this 14-year-old. Okay, so that's a problem right there. And then 17's still a kid, so yeah, you're a victim at 17 as well. So they kind of promote child harm. How does a kid consent to sex with any kid? Like, the whole thing about it, and it gets worse and worse when you go into these like Bible Belty, states. They're the ones that are all into the kids, and they it's so crazy because they're the biggest ones out here going, child human trafficking and child this and child that, and it's like, your states promote this conduct in kids, and you cannot say it doesn't because I'm reading it right now. Well, it happened to us, so this is normal for us. Yeah, okay, so there's that. So how did these two become this hot mess in your state? Yeah. So I was just like, oh my God, the story is all kinds of wrong. Like, there's no good human in it, not even the state itself. 14 is like 9th grade. At least it was for me. And I graduated at age 16. So when I turned 17, the state is basically saying I can go prey on a 9th grader. I have no desire to, and why would I want to? I'm now an adult. I mean, I'm going into adulthood, right? I'm like out of school, and I'm now about to, in the next year or so, to be of legal age to go move on my own, right? It's kind of that thing. Why in the world would I want a middle schooler? That's mental. That's even mental for a child. And I'm just, it's like they can't figure this out or something. The redneck white man bumpkins, there is something wrong with their genetic pool. There definitely is. I mean, the true American history is that America was founded by a bunch of Christian men that raped a bunch of 10-year-olds. That's just fact. And probably younger than that, because even before that, I was like, even before that. I don't know what anybody's problem is, but that's reality. So if you don't like reality, then you should change how you're acting. But that's reality. That's why they're a bunch of preds. So you have to change promoting children to rape other children. That's number one. And adults raping children, that's number two. And your laws are totally bunk. But where did they come from, right? Where did they come from? And where did this logic and reasoning come from? I don't want to let go of this bullshit that we believe. Okay, so we have this going on. But that's why. I mean, the answers are literally in your face as to why that's occurring. It's just, you have to change that. You cannot promote children to rape each other. I don't know, but that's been going on. And it's just funny because on the early days of Twitter, they were pointing this out in a lot of different ways. Like when kids were doing this conduct and other adults were brushing it off like, no, it's not a big deal. And it's like, and I was reading it and I was like, actually, yeah, it is. That's gross. I never did that. I was like thinking about this whole thing about it because I was kind of reflecting. I was like, if I did it, I would probably say, I go, oh man, when we were kids, yeah, we didn't know any better, some bullshit, like when you're like 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there or something weird like that. But I was like, no, and I never had a desire to do that. So if you're having a desire to do that, well, maybe there's an addition in your household that's going on that some of us don't know about, And so a lot of the people on the left and the progressives were promoting we should lower the age of consent because they all got touched. Instead of looking at it like, oh, we all got touched, we're actually all victims and we should not be promoting it. So they had a different stance to it, their perspective about it. And the rest of us who are like, child victims are just listening to this crap. And we're like, what the hell? all of them basically admitted that they're fine with that conduct. They wouldn't respond to that conduct, and they think that conduct is okay. They told us. Then the other argumentation, mostly from that guy Sink, that one, okay. So his argumentation was, because something happens to a mass group of people, therefore it cannot be a bad thing. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell logic that is. Well, if all our dads got raped as sons, therefore it could not be rape. That was his logic and reasoning. I was like, I don't know what shit. These guys make more money than me. I don't know, but that's what's happening. Yeah, I was like, that's dumb logic. I don't know, but it's the worst like conclusion you could ever come up with. But yeah, so then therefore, because of that, we should lower the AOC. So because it steps out on the wrong footing, their conclusion is utter garbage. So that's how, we end up with terrible things in the world, because there's not somebody smarter in the room to counter those points. And how does that happen? Oh, censorship. So censorship is something that everybody should be against. We cannot have censorship for the sake of Karen feeling safe. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Honestly, the bomber guy put that into perspective like perfectly. And I don't even know if he really understood it, like as he was talking. And I was like, yeah, like if I could convey that point more clearly than that, yeah, because it was basically on this thing where it's like the censorship muted someone down, and then it ends up going south, and then they just bounce off stupid ideas off each other, and then they go do a stupid thing, right? And the guy wasn't stupid. Like, I'm fine with calling everybody stupid. Like, but the guy wasn't stupid. Like, I'm listening to him, even though he's using words that he shouldn't be using, but he was kind of a bright guy. And it's like, how do you end up here? Well, it's just from your own opinion and not having the counter to correct where you're at, And how is that happening? And in that case, censorship. Oh, totally. It was the weirdest thing to listen to, because I'm like, oh, this isn't a typical case. This is not a typical case that we're dealing with. And I'm still kind of stewing on it, because it's kind of new to me. So I don't know of any other story that's been in the media that falls in this place right here, but it definitely is different. It's not a person that's void. It was a lot of things. And I was just like, that is a little fascinating. I mean, it is. And they didn't have really this desire to want to harm a bunch of people. It was technically for the sake of stopping suffering. Obviously, I was saying it went really south, but the mindset to it is a lot different than a lot of the people that we go through, for certain.